Hey, welcome back to another how-to video. Today we're going to do just a quick tutorial on how I clean this Turin CF64V. It's really easy. Some of the tools that I like to use are just kind of your standard cleaning brush. I like these larger barista brushes personally. These usually do better at getting into some of the burrs. And then I like to use these little blower bulbs. They're kind of used mostly in photography, but they've appeared on a lot of Espresso bars. So to get started, I just like to take everything off. Usually take off my bellow, take off the dosing cup. And since this is kind of a newer design, a lot of people haven't seen it. It has a magnetic front. And then we're going to need an Allen key. So in this case, I have this 3mm T-handle that I like to use in a lot of these videos. Yours should come with just a standard Allen key with the grinder. So opening up the front, really easy. You don't need to do this very often. So with those screws removed, the front just really simply comes off, and I like to make sure that I leave this where it was set just so that you're not spinning it. If you were to spin this, you might have to turn it all the way back to re-zero your grinder. It's really not hard to do. I usually just try to leave it alone. And then we have our fixed burr, which you're going to get a lot of these grounds kind of fall when you open it up, but it does have a gasket on the inside to seal all those grounds into the grinder. So to clean this, again, we're just going to take a brush. You may want to do over a trash can. We're just going to do on our workbench today just so that you can see it. You also don't want to be dropping your burrs. And then just get down inside that chute. This next part can be a little bit more awkward, but it's really not that bad. Again, just get all those coffee grounds out. So this part is somewhat optional, but we do recommend maintaining your grinder. You have these springs that if they get a whole bunch of coffee grounds on them, you may end up wanting to brush them off. You really shouldn't have to do this very often because your coffee ground shouldn't be getting in here, but when you open up the front of the grinder, you may get some residual coffee grounds coming out. Since I've had this open for a few videos, mine got a little bit dirty, so it's probably not a bad idea just to show you how I grease these up. In this case, we have Lubrifilm Plus. It's a food grade grease. You really don't need very much. And we're just going to put a little bit on our finger and put it around these extensions. With everything nice and clean, let's go ahead and reassemble it. We have our stationary burr carrier, and these pins go into these holes. That's why we put a little bit of grease on there, because as you adjust this grinder, it moves these plates in and out. You really shouldn't have an issue with that, but if for whatever reason you got it really bound up with a lot of coffee, that's why I showed that. And then following, we have our cap that fits on the front. And we're going to use the same 3mm T-handle Allen wrench to put the face back on. Last, we have our magnetic dial indicator that fits on the front. Before we put all of our accessories back on the grinder, I'm going to use this bulb and just kind of blow out any of the grounds that may have come free as we cleaned that grind chamber. This will also keep your ion generation probes nice and clean. So this might be something that you want to pick up and use about once a week. Lastly, let's just get everything cleaned up, get all of our coffee grounds off of our counter. So there you have it, just a really simple maintenance video. This is something that you might do once a quarter, maybe twice a year. I know some people, they do it a whole bunch, and some people they really neglect. I usually do mine about 3 times a year, but I use multiple grinders, so maybe I'm not getting it quite as dirty. But if you found this content helpful, consider hitting the like and subscribe and checking out some of our other videos on the CF64V. Also, if you're not familiar with it, on our website, espressooutlet.com, we have a Learn section that has lots of videos. So if you have one of our grinders or espresso machines, we have a ton of how-to videos on each of these products. But for today, thanks for watching.